I'm Dr. Zulfikar Adamu, an Associate Professor of IT in Construction, and this is Black Excellence. Originally, I'm from Nigeria. In fact, I still am from Nigeria. It's like I'm no longer from Nigeria, but yes, I grew up there. I was born there. I did my first and second degrees there in architecture. I trained originally as an architect. I was going to be an architect. I still am an architect. I see myself first and foremost as an architect. It's just that at the point of graduation, I kind of found a bit about engineering and the built environment and other things that make buildings work, like indoor environment, comfort, lighting, temperature, and the rest of that. The building physics of construction was really fascinating for me, so I went and did a bit of further education in engineering, and I said, you know what, I think I like this. By the time I said I wanted to move into engineering, I couldn't find the options to specialize in that regard, so I had to go to the Middle East, where I did an MSc in architecture engineering. That's where I fell in love with computers. I taught myself how to write software programs and the rest of that. So after 7 years in Saudi Arabia, I moved to the United Kingdom in 2009 for a PhD research at Loughborough University. And in the process, I also realized that, you know, I actually like research and investigating problems that exist or the ones that you invent by yourself. Because that's what we do as academics sometimes. We solve society's problems, or we tell society, you have a problem, and we end up solving it for them. After that, they gave me a job, so I stayed behind and worked for them for about 6 or 7 years. And then I moved to London South Bank University. My journey has been through architecture, engineering, and now IT, or should I say the engineering aspect of construction, specifically the information technology aspect of it. Well, as an associate professor, I'm expected to do 3 or 4 things. First of all, to do world-leading research in my area of specialization, which is IT and construction, but also to transfer that knowledge into the classroom for a new generation of professionals to learn from that, but also to use it in industry to solve real-world problems through enterprise. And a little bit of admin here and there to do some paperwork. That's what it means to be an associate professor in general. And in my own field, I'm into IT in construction, so the way we use technology in buildings, how we design those buildings, how we construct them, or how we use them after they've been handed over to the owner. That's the sort of thing I'm interested in, like building information modeling, how we can simulate buildings before we construct them, or how we use data or data science to understand how to deliver better quality buildings to the users, or maybe even during construction, how to get the best possible materials. I mean, technology is in everyday aspect of our lives now, isn't it? So construction is no different. It represents a huge opportunity going forward for people to go into construction industry, but go into the IT side of things. So what we're seeing here is called a 4D simulation, which means we have a 3D model, an intelligent 3D model for building that's proposed to be constructed. And with 4D simulation, we can plan out the construction work, the sequence of activities, as well as the duration of the activities, you know what I mean? So we can see how constructible the whole thing is going to be, if there are any issues of health and safety risk, or managing the site, making it more efficient for people to do the construction work. With this, we can more or less predict and run what-if scenarios. What if we could do it like this or like that? You know, what if this trade person or this subcontractor wasn't available? Or what if you had to change this material or something like that? That we can look at consequences in terms of cost or time or the quality of the eventual building. Well, I've faced quite a few challenges, if I'm being honest. Being black is one, obviously. Foreign born is another one. And I think that the only thing I've done to overcome those challenges, first of all, is to always believe in myself. There's a book that I read some years ago. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You. And I recommend that to anybody who's watching this to take a look at that book, because perhaps 70% of the things in that book were not new to me. But it reaffirms some of the things that I always believed in. In terms of my inspiration, or personally what I would advise people who are black like myself is, there's no such thing as luck. It's a matter of preparation meeting opportunity. So how prepared are you? That's the thing. You know, we don't wait for handouts or for people to tell you what to do. You need to believe in yourself, but not just for passion. Not just believe that, oh, I love athletics because Mo Farah is a famous athlete, so I will know. You have to put in the hours. Are you willing to put the hours that Muhammad Ali put in? You know, Ali used to say something that he used to tell himself when he's training, when he feels like quitting, that don't quit, Ali, suffer now so that tomorrow you'll be a champion. And that's the sort of thing that book taught me, that craft is more important than passion or talent. If you just put in the hours, you put in the effort, you will shine through. And you'll be so good that the world can't ignore you. It's as simple as that. Of course, there's a aspect of imparting that knowledge back as well, because as academic, people think we just teach. Now it's just about a quarter of what we do actually. We teach, but we also do research, we do industry work, consulting, work with industry. You cannot not be in isolation without working with the real world. So, and then we do a lot of admin stuff as well. So when people say associate professor, they think, oh, it's just holding a chalk all the time. Nah, it's the least of our problems actually. We look for money to do research, we solve industry problems, and yeah, we just generate new knowledge all the time. What I like about the academic job is that for someone like me who's always keen to learn, you know, to expand your horizon and keep learning, academia is very exciting because you never stop learning. Especially in today's world where, you know, the amount of information that we have keeps doubling. It's not just about creating new stuff sometimes, but looking at what exists, existing knowledge, and making sense of it and extracting that and using it to provide intelligence for everyday decisions. So I like my job because on the one hand, it enables me to keep growing, but it also challenges me to be at the top of my game, because you cannot stand in front of your students if you don't know what you're talking about, or if you don't know what's the state of the art in your area. I would say Muhammad Ali, the boxer. People think he was just a funny boxer, but he's actually a very intelligent man. If you watch his interviews when he was at his peak, the kind of things that came out of his mouth, wow, you're like, this guy is really smart. But he was also a fun-loving, humor-loving person. He was a bit cocky sometimes. But yeah, I think that he represents to me a very, very important icon for Black people around the world, the kind of things he went through, and he didn't let adversity stop him from, you know, coming back to claim his belt even when he was stripped. About standing for yourself, you know, he refused to be drafted to go and fight a war he didn't believe in Vietnam, and he lost his world championship, but he came back and got it. So it's about rising each time you fall, you know. He was not afraid of defeat, but even though he worked hard to be victorious in all cases, every time he was facing adversity, he conquered it. So that's one person I'll put at the top of my list. I'll probably mention two other people. There's a guy called Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's an astrophysicist. Very intelligent guy. I encourage those who are listening to this to just Google him and probably understand why I respect him. And the third person will be Professor Thomas Sowell, and he's an economist. He's a very clever man.